Okay, everybody, I think we're about ready to make a start. So I'd like to welcome you so much for attending our 52nd Scientific Conference of the Australian Entomological Society. We're of course joined by the SASB, the Society of Australian Systematic Biologists, and the International Union for the Study of Social Insects, the IUSSI. So my name's Terry Beasley Hall. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Adelaide and a board member of the Australian Entomological Society. So I'll be just emceeing our plenary sessions in the mornings and giving any housekeeping updates that you might need to know of. So I realize this format is pretty different to what you might be used to. This is my first online conference as well. So I do have a few things to go through before we begin, just so everybody's on the same page. So I'd firstly like to remind presenters to arrive at their respective sessions 15 minutes before the symposium starts, which means you'll be arriving in the break beforehand. That'll just ensure that you know how to share your screen, sorting out any IT issues, and our tech team can go through that with you. Secondly, whether you're presenting or attending talks, if you have any doubts about how to share your screen or anything like that, I'd like to just ask you to look through our welcome pack if you haven't already. We would have emailed that to you on Friday, and that just includes important information about Zoom etiquette to ensure that our symposia run as smoothly as possible. Thirdly, we've got a hashtag this year, AusEnto 2021. You might have seen it cycling on the slides earlier. So I would really encourage you to post on social media about the conference and really just network with other attendees in any way you're comfortable with, because I realize, again, this is a very different format to what a lot of us were expecting this year. And finally, we do have a student event tonight. It'll be a fantastic evening full of fun and trivia, and there are prizes to be won. So students, if that sounds like something that interests you, please, I would really encourage you to attend. Okay, so with all that out of the way, I would like to introduce Uncle Mickey. He's going to welcome us to country.
Hey, Chaya, thank you for that, Gary. And Nina Mani, hello to everybody. Let's call upon the spirit people of my ancestors. Twila, Twila, Wakanapadne. Nai gana pia ko maklankla, maruchanga gana mina. Minyana na mani putaji, nai nari kamatpi marriage, nai wangadi mani rupuni, gani yatana, irti yata, tandanya, party, bamabambaya. Hello and welcome. My name is Mickey O'Brien, and it is wonderful that we can welcome you to a place. I today stand on the dreaming place of the big red kangaroo being in Adelaide. I'm not only a descendant of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains, but also of the Narungga people of the Yorke Peninsula. My Aboriginal name is that of the Impatient One. But when we welcome people, we call upon the spirit people of our ancestors to bring good blessings to you, to send away that sad. And we can do that even over the Mukundu or Wicca being the lightning brain, or as you would say, the computer or the internet. Today, it's obviously about this conference being the National Australian Entomological 52nd AGM Scientific Conference. And as an Aboriginal person, welcome was really important because it not only just provided safekeeping on our lands, but it also meant that we could exchange in knowledge and wisdom. And that's what welcome was really about, was about the relationships that we can build, because we were people of needs, not wants. And I want to share a story about Tukul Bati. Now, Tukul Bati was a strong, very quick, and very little in stature person. And he wanted to be a great hunter of our people. And he went to the great elder, and the great elder said to him that he wanted him to have a task, and that was to collect all of the wood before the winter. And Tukul Bati said, I can do that. And he collected all of this wood. And more than anybody else had collected before, and higher than anybody else before, and quicker than anybody else before. And when it came to the elder, he said to the elder, I'm ready now to be a great hunter of our people. And the elder said to Tukul Bati, I don't want you to be a great hunter. I want you to be the person who's responsible for collecting our wood for the winter. Tukul Bati was saddened by this. And he sat there in this pile of wood that he had collected. And sadly, lightning had struck that wood and caught Tukul Bati in that fire. But the ancestors of our people and the elders didn't want Tukul Bati to lose his life in there, and so they called to the spirit people to make Tukubati a part of a different life, a part of the animal life. Now, who was Tukubati? Well, he's the insect, being the ant. And so we see Tukubati still collecting wood, cleaning up the landscape, quicker, faster, stronger than anybody else. An important insect to our landscapes. And so that story isn't just about the creation of the ant, it's also about how we all have a responsibility. And sometimes in life, the journey we take may not be the journey we end up in. And so I hope you feel not only welcomed over the internet, but also welcome wherever you are, and that you understand that knowledge and wisdom is shared, not owned by one person. And so therefore I leave you these words, Nachu Yukandaya, Nachu Yakandaya, Padnya do what do. It's saying we are truly all brothers and sisters. We can sit, we can observe, we can listen to the land, realize we should do that in harmony. And if we look after the land itself will look after us. We were people that not only welcome people, but we never said goodbye to people. Why? Because we had no word for goodbye, because we believe that our physical is only ever temporary, but our spiritual is forever. And that when we leave our physical, we return to the landscapes, whether it be the parts of the skies, the waters, the land itself, or the animals or plants. And so therefore, our life is continuous and our spirit lives on within all of us when we touch people, when we share things with people. So Nakara, Naichaya, please enjoy this wonderful conference wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you again. Nakara.
Thank you for that fantastic welcome, Uncle Mickey. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that that was just wonderful. So I'd now like to introduce Katja Hoggendolen. She's the chair of the conference's organising committee that made this event possible, and she'll
Hello everyone, and thank you, Uncle Mickey, for this wonderful welcome to country. My name is Katja. I'm talking to you from Ghana country, and on behalf of the organising committee, I'm delighted to be able to welcome you in the combined conference of the Australian Entomological Society, the Society of Australian Systematic Biologists, and the International Union for the Study of Social Insects. This is a bittersweet moment for us, bitter, because we would have loved to welcome you all in Adelaide in person. But that was not to be. Sweet because of the overwhelming enthusiasm for participation. We have more than 330 delegates and 150 presentations. This makes the conference one of the best attended so far. Sweet also because 1/3 of all delegates are students. At well over 100 students, this is the highest students' participation ever, both proportionally and in absolute numbers. We are particularly happy about that because students have suffered most from the pandemic, and we hope this conference will go some way in helping them to develop a professional network. If you are a student, please join in the student event tonight. The organization of this conference has been true teamwork, and what an amazing team we have had. Please give a virtual clap for Alana McClelland, aka Delane, who arranged the photo competition, the poster presentation, the students' talk competition, and the IT crew working in the background. Nancy Cunningham guided over the finances and made the program book together with Liv Davies. J.E. Wasaki managed the secretariat and the website. Erin Fagan-Jeffries wrote the Zoom guide and was with Perry Beasley Hall, Matt Shaw, Gary Taylor, Liv Davies, and Michelle Guzik responsible for the scientific programming. Perry also raised interest through social media. Brock Hedges coordinated the student event. I would like to thank them all for their exceptional enthusiasm and effort. Finally, Perry and I designed the logo. It was meant to make you laugh, then think. As we all know, insects and allied invertebrates truly make the world go round. They are essential for soil functioning, biological control, nutrient recycling, pollination, and they are a food for a plethora of organisms. In the coming 4 days, many of the talks will attest to that. Although the logo reflects the insect's heavy lifting, it also refers to the dire state of the Earth. While the pandemic has made the world a bit shitty in the last 2 years, climate change is incrementally, or should we say excrementally, placing the planet in ever deeper doo-doo. Fundamental changes to society and economy are urgently needed to save the world's biodiversity and to keep us from drowning in our own waste. In this context, it is important to realize that in the end, nature laughs last, and that evolution will continue on its merry way. But it would be unfortunate if we went around to document it. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. Both the Australian Entomological Supplies and Bugs for Bugs have been extremely generous and stuck with us when we went from a physical to a virtual conference. Their support is much appreciated, and we urge you to support them in return. Finally, I hope you have a wonderful conference and enjoy the wide range of talks on offer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katja, for that fantastic speech. Okay, so now I'm going to invite David Merritt, the President of the Australian Entomological Society, to please give us his welcome.
Thanks very much, Perry. I'd like to thank all of the organisers of the conference. It's been an incredible job. The last AES conference that we all got together at was in 2019 in Brisbane, and last year we had to cancel, obviously. And this year we were hoping for a face-to-face, and Katja put her hand up and volunteered to organise that conference but she showed this incredible flexibility, not just Katja, but the whole team, in being able to transition to a virtual conference. Extraordinary expertise is required to do that. And I know it's very early in the piece, but just based on the documents in front of us, the schedule, the number of applicants, the huge student interest in this conference, I think it's going to go very, very well. So I'd really like to thank Katja and the team, not neglecting everybody by naming them individually. We have a very large number of delegates. I encourage everybody to sort of pay attention and to listen to as many of the talks as they can. We're going to have a lot of distractions in our offices or at home, and yeah, let's just hope that everything goes well. I'd also like to welcome the SASB and IUSSI participants. In these joint meetings are useful and make for better networking. Okay, just going beyond the welcome, I'd just like everybody who are members of the AES to attend the AGM if they can. I had to do a double check this morning and try and remember whether I'd registered or not. So please make sure that you're registered. You will have received an email with a Zoom link for the AGM. There are some relatively important society processes that have to be decided. So it's made a lot easier if more people are attending, put it that way. So I really do encourage you to turn up to the AGM meeting in the different time zones that we all have. I hope it doesn't confuse everybody. Okay, so that's my welcome, very brief, but Katja and Perry and Mickey have done a great job of welcoming everybody. So I'd just like to add my voice to that welcome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dave. Kevin, would you like to say a few words as the president of the SASB?
Yes, I would. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Perry. So yes, Kevin Tilley is my name, from president of the SASB, and talking to you from Wadjuk country of the Noongar Nation, that is Perth. And I also welcome you all to this conference, and am really excited to be hearing the talks. This whole virtual conferencing thing is really interesting, and I know that the initial intention was to try to hold a physical conference, and that obviously would have been great if we were able to do it. COVID mucks up so many of our plans, as you know. The organising committee, I'm sure it's been a challenge to transition from organising a physical conference to organising a completely virtual conference, but they rose to the challenge, as we know, and they were bloody good at it. Virtual conferences, of course, have advantages, and we've all discovered this over the last 2 years or so. And the advantage, as has been pointed out by others, is just that we have much greater engagement, many more people than is likely to have been in the case dealing with the exigencies of physical travel, and that's just tremendous. I'm keen, as others have done, to really give a shout out to the organising committee. They've done a tremendous amount of work, and scanning through the program last week, I thought, bloody hell, they really have done a good job. So I would like to thank and acknowledge Katja and the team for the enormous amount of hard work that they did. I'd also like, of course, to give a shout out to our partners, the AES and the IUSSI, and to thank you all for joining with SASB for this conference. Finally, just as with AES, the SASB, the Society of Australian Systematic Biologists, is going to be having its AGM during this week. It will be on Friday, and if I've got the time zones right, it will be at 9 AM Perth time, which means midday in Canberra, 11:30 in Adelaide, and I think the Northern Territory, and 11 o'clock Brisbane time. Please check that in your diaries. Don't take my word for it. It's important to have as many members of the SASB come to the AGM and the meeting. We have a number of important matters to discuss and the new council to vote in, of course. So please, any SASB members, and I particularly extend that welcome to student members of SASB, please do come to the meeting to find out more about SASB, how it operates, to get involved and to help in some of our decision making. So with that, I would like to hand over and welcome to this marvelous week of conferencing. Thanks very much.
Thank you for that fantastic welcome, Kevin. I'd just like to call on Simon Robson, if he's here, as the president of the IUSSI, if he would like to say any words. Okay, it looks like Simon might not be here. So what we have next on the cards is our first plenary speaker, Marcus Riegler. And now Marcus is due to speak in about half an hour, so I think we'll take a break until that happens. In the meantime, I might just quickly describe how we're going to split up the symposia today in different Zoom links. So we're currently in Zoom link 1, and this will run all day as one of the concurrent symposia. We also have Zoom link 2 and Zoom link 3 as the biodiversity genomics and fruit fly symposia. And if you'd like to get the links for those, they will be in our abstract and program booklet that we emailed you recently. So if anybody has any questions, please address those to either me or to the tech team. And I think we'll break for about 25 minutes, and then we'll come back and Marcus will be giving a fantastic plenary. So thank you, everyone. And I should add, don't let this stop everybody from having a chat and talking amongst yourselves. If you want to, you're welcome to use the chat function or speak aloud. We're certainly not going to make you turn off your cameras and mics in the meantime and just sit there quietly. Thank you, everyone.